Blake Griffin not loving his life right now. The Clippers traded him to the Detroit Pistons for a few picks, Tobias Harris, Avery Bradley, and Boban Marjanovic. Blake Griffin told us exactly what he felt, finding out through Twitter, nonetheless, that this deal had been made. Take a look.
You know what? Basketball is a business. The NBA is a business, and they made a decision. The only thing I just wish I had known or had the opportunity to talk to somebody beforehand. You know, finding out through Twitter or through other people is a tough way to find out when you've been with a franchise for so long. But you know, at the end of the day, basketball is a business, and I want to play where a team wants.
So, and sorry, I cut it off there. What he was saying was he wants to go somewhere where he's wanted. Dude, you're wanted for like as much time as the Pistons want you until, as you said, basketball is a business in order for you to then be shipped off to another place and another team who wants you for that respective era of time. Here's the thing. We have seen this previously in all sports, not just basketball, where guys are finding out through social media that they have been shipped from their own team. Guys like Adrian Wojnarowski, Shams, many others through the media learn about this stuff before the players do. Is it crappy? Yeah, absolutely. But it's also the time that we are in where I believe front offices don't necessarily know how to inform somebody that they are putting them on the trading block in order to be shipped away. Because here's the problem that others in the NBA, like Blake Griffin, who I do really like, and I think he's super talented on and off the court with his stand-up comedy. What happens is if you start telling them, hey man, we're looking at trading you, then those people in the positions of power are already asking for their reports to be leaked and then them to decrease the value of the player that you just told. However, Tracy McGrady also weighed in via TMZ Sports about the nature of Blake Griffin finding out. Take a look.
Hey man, do you think that Blake Griffin's right to be salty about getting traded? Finding out about it over Twitter.
Yeah, I mean, for somebody that got that type of history with the organization, I mean, he's the one that really started, you know, to get the Clippers on, you know, a winning path. Yeah, it's very disrespectful.
Do you think that he should be the first number they retire if they ever retire a number?
Yeah, if they ever retire a number, absolutely.
Over Elton Brand?
I forgot about EB. That's a tough one.
If you were like a player, would you want to go to the Clippers after this?
Yeah, I think with Jerry West there, absolutely. Things are changing right there.
So it's a fair point. I also like the last question. I will never, ever be able to say Elton Brand without sounding like that cameraman where he's like, Elton Brand. And then the last part of, and it was a good question, the last part of asking would other players want to go there. I think T-Mac realizes, as many others do, as Blake Griffin said, in the first bite that we had towards the end, it is a business. No matter what happens, you find out through Twitter, you find out through your DMs, you find out however you may, it's a business. Every player is expendable, as we are coming to learn. So here's the other wrinkle in this. We all know that Paul George absolutely wants to go to the Los Angeles market and play for the Lakers, not the Clippers, as he has indicated many times. And of course, the Lakers got fined $500,000 for tampering. Royce Young on, this is via Slam Online, one of the ESPN podcasts, said, did the Clippers get, and here we go, did the Clippers get as much as they could for Blake Griffin? Where Royce Young says they offered him around to everybody. Brian Windhorst then says, I don't know if that's true. Young goes, I know that they made calls to Oklahoma City for Paul George. Uh-oh. I'm pretty sure they made calls to Minnesota for players. So they tried to get some bigger name players. It just wasn't happening. So let's dissect this. Previously, I stated that Paul George wants to go to the Lakers. He's made no mention of the Clippers, but would he take it as a consolation? Absolutely. The Minnesota part that Royce Young is talking about is that they shopped Blake Griffin for Karl-Anthony Towns. If you're Minnesota, you never, ever do that deal. Karl-Anthony Towns has more tools in the toolbox. He can play a full season, and he's younger, way more upside than Blake Griffin. Again, I like Blake Griffin. I like Karl-Anthony Towns more. I like Joel Embiid more. I like Kristaps Porzingis more. So here are the contracts on why I think this would be a bad deal for Oklahoma City. So starting with Detroit, Blake Griffin, I'm sorry I cut it off. It's at the very top. At the end of his deal, he's getting paid nearly $39 million. And then you also have another big who he's going to have to learn to play with, even though they share the same agent in Jeff Schwartz, Andre Drummond. Reggie Jackson is hurt right now. And then after that, you really don't have a lot of weapons. You're still not sure what you're going to get with Luke Kennard. He's a good shooter. Stanley Johnson having a bad year, but the last few games he's been okay. So pay attention to the numbers for Blake Griffin. 34, 36.5, nearly 39. And then if we go to Oklahoma City's team, herein lies the problem. Russell Westbrook is getting paid $46.6 million. Carmelo's going to be done. He wants out. Steven Adams is in there. I'm glad he's getting paid. Andre Robertson is hurt right now. And then you have Paul George, who's 19.5 and then 20. Paying attention to Russell Westbrook and Blake Griffin. You would have to eat up, I believe the salary cap is going to be at about 136, and you could go up to 138. You are paying nearly half, a little less than half, to just 2 players. So now you're already going to hurt whatever you do off the bench because Blake Griffin and Russell Westbrook are eating up your entire team's salary, and we know that Paul George is not going to be there that much longer, if at all. And by the way, in case you were just wondering what's going on with Blake Griffin, here's how he looks in a Detroit Pistons uniform. Wearing number 23. Looks decent. Remember, you can't wear 32 because one of the best guys to ever come off a screen as a catch and shoot shooter, Rip Hamilton, well, he had his jersey number retired not too long ago. So Blake Griffin, I wish you the best. I wish Detroit the best. But Oklahoma City, I'm glad you inquired, and I'm glad that it didn't happen for your team's future.